Alright, everyone, welcome back. So, with the Devils extending general manager Todd Fitzgerald today, I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at the current state of the Devils because I haven't made a Devils video yet all year. And being a guy who talks about all 32 teams, I kind of need to live up to that. So, anywho, the New Jersey Devils have definitely not been the Devils team that we saw last year. At this point last year, the Devils were top 3 in the Metropolitan Division. And this year, it's been a mixed amount of the Devils' poor play, along with injuries as well, and also other teams having better seasons than last year. Definitely also plays a factor. So far this season, the Devils are 24-18-3 for 51 points. They have a .567 points percentage, and they are 4th in the Metropolitan Division currently. As I've mentioned through a lot of my Eastern Conference team videos, the Metropolitan Division and the Eastern Conference as a whole is very competitive this year. Every single point matters. Every game now is basically a 4-point game, more or less. And what that means is, let's say if you win that game, you take 2 points away from one team and you gain 2 points from yourself. That's 4 points. If you lose that game, you pretty much lose 4 points. So it is more or less a must-win at this point for some teams. And the Devils are one of them. They don't really have that gap that some of these other teams have on other teams. They're kind of in the middle of fighting for everyone else for either like 3rd place in the Metro or a wild card spot right now. That's where the Devils are currently at. Now, the Devils, comparatively speaking to some of the teams we've talked about recently, have a very good power play. They have a 26.5 power play percentage, which is 5th in the NHL overall. So definitely good to have a really solid power play. And even through the injuries they've had, they still have a good power play. The penalty kill's been below average, but not terrible. 78%. Obviously, you want to find ways to improve on that. But definitely, it's not the worst. It's a below average, but it's not the worst either. So at least you can just give that the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, they've scored 156 goals, allowed 159, so a negative goal differential there I thought was very interesting. They are 10-11-2 at home, so they're not very good at home. They're kind of just mediocre at home. And then they're 14-7-1 on the road. I know they're not good at home because I actually went to a New Jersey Devils game this past season at Prudential Center. Definitely a new experience for me going to an arena that I've never been to before. Up to that point, I haven't been to an arena outside of Wells Fargo. It's a pretty nice arena. I won't say it's the best that I've been to, but it's definitely a pretty nice arena. The Devils did not play well, though, and I did participate in some Fire Lindy chants because, hey, I was wearing a Devils jersey. Why not pretend I'm a Devils fan? But anyways, this team has had its fair share of injuries. There is no doubt about it. When you look at the man games lost, it's been brutal for the Devils. And they're going to be down some top defenders for arguably the rest of the season. So currently on LTIR, you have Thomas Nosek. What is going to change soon, though, is Dougie Hamilton is likely going to move from IR to LTIR, effective probably pretty soon. I think it's because they got to manage the cap somehow. They just haven't moved him to LTIR yet. But it's looking like he will be moved to LTIR, so expect Hamilton to be there soon. But Nosek, 4th line forward, it's a decently sized loss. Hamilton's a big loss, though. One of your best defensemen on that blue line. It's definitely taken a toll on the Devils, and it's shown through a lot of the games here. Siegenthaler and Smith are also on injury reserve currently. Those two guys are both defensemen as well. So, just again, they have a lot of pummels to their blue line right now. It's just not looking too good for them. It's just not looking too good for their blue line. And I was thinking that, like, if they're going to make a trade this coming deadline, it's either going to be for a goaltender or for a defenseman because their blue line is definitely bruised up right now. And by the way, this is at the time recording January 23rd. So if you're watching this on the 24th or the 25th, something may have changed between now and then. But as of right now, this is what I have currently. Your day-to-day, week-to-week players, you got Colin Miller, who's day-to-day. Andre Palat, who's also day-to-day. And then Jack Hughes is going to be out through the All-Star break. So definitely the All-Star break's about a week away. So, it's definitely brutal to not have your best player in Jack Hughes. There were even considerations at points that he could win the Hart Trophy. And I think that he's just been so valuable to this Devils team being without him has shown the Devils are not that good, not that great of a team without Jack Hughes. Just being openly honest there. Now, they definitely still have some solid players, even though they have guys injured. And I'm pretty impressed with the amount of injuries they've had, the way they've just stayed competitive with some of these teams. I find it very impressive. You got Jesper Bratt leading the way in scoring with 45 games played, 17 goals, 31 assists for 48 points. Bratt's going to get paid. We've been saying that for years. Bratt's going to get paid. He had himself a very good season this year. He's playing very well, especially with some of the guys being out and hurt. He's been a reason why the Devils have kind of stayed in the hunt longer than they maybe should have, if we're being honest. Jack Hughes then is second in scoring with 32 games played, 15 goals, 30 assists, 45 points. It's crazy how he has that amount in almost 10 games less than some of his teammates. I find that absolutely crazy. So, again, it goes to show that Jack Hughes has been an amazing player for the Devils, is incredibly valuable to this Devils roster, and definitely just without him, like they aren't the same. And there's no denying it. Without Jack Hughes, they are not the same team. Third in scoring is Tyler Toffoli, who had a hat trick last night. 45 games played, 20 goals, 13 assists, 33 points. I talked about Sharangovich yesterday. For those who don't know, that trade was exchanged between the Devils and the Flames, where the Devils acquired forward Tyler Toffoli in exchange for Sharangovich and a third-round pick. Obviously, for both sides, both teams made up pretty well in that trade. So I would give some props to the Devils for sure. It was a pretty solid win-win deal there when you look at that overall. Fourth in scoring, Nico Hischier, who's also missed some time, but I believe is healthy now. He has 34 games played, 13 goals, 13 assists for 26 points. Hischier obviously has missed some time, so that's why his stats aren't as great. But I think he, too, is also very valuable because, A, he's our captain, and as well as that, too, I think he plays a lot in the defensive style of play for the Devils and has been a very good two-way forward. And could be a conversation for the Selke now that Bergeron has retired. Not really because he's hurt, but he may be in the conversation a little bit. We'll find out. And then fifth in scoring is the brother of Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, who we will talk about more tomorrow. But he has 45 games played, 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. I believe he leads all defensemen in those numbers. So definitely playing some very solid hockey there is Luke Hughes, and hopefully that continues. He's proven himself to be a very solid, suitable offensive defender up there. Yeah, definitely the scoring has lacked a little bit, but obviously that's because some of the players have been injured. You know, Jack Hughes being out definitely isn't ideal. Palat being out isn't ideal either. But also Timo Meier. Meier, who was signed to an 8-year contract this offseason, no denying he struggled. There's no denying it when you just look at the overall numbers. 32 games played, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. It has not been a fun year for Meier overall. Do I think this is the best we can see out of him now? No. He's not going to be like Jonathan Huberdeau and just fall off a cliff like the way he did. He's still decently young. I believe he's still 28, 29 years old. He has plenty of time. It just may be because, you know, this is a very strange season for the Devils. They're struggling to adapt to their system, but absolutely, you're going to need Timo Meier to perform more. That's definitely the biggest thing that we've seen from the Devils and the biggest headline we've gotten. So yeah, Timo Meier for sure, he's going to want to improve with New Jersey. There's no denying it. And then, of course, the goaltending. The goaltending had its controversies in the playoffs, it has controversies throughout this entire season, and I think that it's probably going to get addressed at the deadline. I would be very shocked if Tom Fitzgerald doesn't address this at the trade deadline. I would be very shocked. You got Vitek Vanacek, 27 games played, 16, 7, and 2, a 3.28 goals against average, and a .883 save percentage. Vanacek, definitely the numbers have not been too great. They're a little bit below average, for sure. It's something that they need to improve on. Even though his win stats are good, it doesn't mean that he's been playing good necessarily. There's definitely been games where Vanacek has not played well. There's games where Vanacek has played well. It's kind of on and off there when you look at Vanacek overall. But yeah, just when you're looking at long term, when you're looking at the playoffs, I don't think Vanacek's your guy. And that's no disrespect to Vanacek, but I just don't think he's your guy. I don't think Schmid's your guy either. I don't think Dawes is your guy either. Dawes, 7 games played, 3.40, 3.19, .903. I don't think any of those 3 goalies are going to be suitable. all due respect, I don't think any of them are going to be your guy in the playoffs. Just saying. So I know they're going to be looking for a goalie. I know John Gibson's name's out there. I know that's definitely going to be something that the Devils look at for sure. It'd be very interesting too. Two young teams, kind of interesting there. But yeah, definitely. I think if there's going to be a move when it comes to goalies, I think it's very possible we see a goalie go back the other way. That's why I said in my trade video a few days ago that I think Akira Schmid could get moved. Just because I don't think they can manage 4 goalies. It just doesn't work. It's proven before. It's not going to work unless if you're the Vegas Golden Knights. But I think that they're probably going to have to move one of those 3 goalies to get another goalie. So definitely that is going to be something that's looked at. If they miss the playoffs, however, obviously Fitzgerald's job is not in danger because definitely he was just re-signed. Lindy Ruff will get some rumblings, mainly because just it's been there for years. Last year it was there at the start of the season before they started playing well. It's been there this year too. Definitely it's going to be thought about for sure. I think that definitely Devils fans have been calling for it. I think that it's in the back of Fitzgerald's mind that if we do miss the playoffs, it could play a factor that the injuries did play a role in it, and maybe he gives Lindy Ruff the benefit of the doubt and says that. But also, he could also get fired too. So there's definitely going to be something interesting there happening with New Jersey if they miss the playoffs. And definitely, I think they are a playoff team. I think they probably do make it over some of these other metropolitan teams like the Capitals and the Islanders, who are kind of being bolstered by overtime points and just, edging out wins. I think that eventually when the Devils do get healthy or healthier than they are right now, I think they for sure will make a push and they will be a playoff team. For sure. And I mean, like, it doesn't help too that the Philadelphia Flyers have also flipped their expectations upside down and taken a spot away from the Metropolitan as of right now. But of course, it is the All-Star break. It's not like they're like 15 points out or something like that. They're really close into it. They're just battling for a wild card spot. So definitely the Devils are definitely in it. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button down below. We really appreciate it. But anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.